Four Senate immigration measures going down in flames today, most notably the so-called Gang of 22 amendment that Trump tweeted earlier today, quote, "The Schumer rounds call an immigration bill would be a total catastrophe. DHS says it would be the end of immigration enforcement in America, creates a giant amnesty, including for dangerous criminals, doesn't build a wall, expands chain migration, keeps the visa lottery, continues deadly catch-on and release, and bars enforcement even for future immigration." Voting for this amendment would be a vote against law enforcement, a vote for open borders. If Dems are actually serious about DACA, they should support the Grassley bill. Joining me now, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, former strategist to President Trump, now a Fox Business national security strategist. Dr. Gorka, always good to talk to you. Before we get to immigration, though, I do want to ask you about our top story, and that's Florida. The president today, in a very emotional and empathetic address to the nation, was really talking a good deal about his speech to the children there who've been so dramatically affected, traumatized by all of this. How did he do?
I think he completely hit the nail on the head, as he has after all of the recent tragedies that weren't terrorist attacks. So if you take, common criminals out of the equation that will always have access to guns, if you take terrorists out of the equation like Al-Qaeda or ISIS, who likewise will get guns or will use trucks or pressure cookers, the last group of people we have to protect our children from, and all American citizens, are the mentally unstable. And we have all the laws on the books. No new laws are going to stop mentally incapable people or unqualified people from getting access to guns. We need to actually implement those laws because they're not being done. I mean, look, in the 1970s saw a massive across-the-board reform of mental health in America, which meant basically after 72 hours, people are let back onto the streets.
Right.
You can't institutionalize people. The system is broken in the health sector aspect of it. Has nothing to do with guns, and the president stressed as much in his comments.
You have to be adjudicated with mental health in order to stop you from getting a gun. Adjudication, as anybody who's ever experienced it knows, it's next to impossible. Let me move on to immigration. Are Democrats acting in bad faith?
Oh, clearly. I mean, look at the last deal that the president offered. It went further on DACA specifically than the Democrats asked for. Almost 2 million people would have had a pathway to staying here in America. And what did the Dems do? They threw it back in the face of the White House, the GOP. They're not acting in good faith. They want to subvert. They want to sabotage as much as possible. And at the end of the day, it's about one thing for them. It's about access to new voters that they think can come onto the Democrat plantation. That's all that it's about.
Yeah. Finally, I do want to get your thoughts on the Democrat version of the Intel memo in the House Intelligence Committee. I have talked to somebody who saw it, and while he would not reveal the contents of it, he said it was basically long on opinion and short on substance. It was sloppy, poorly written, and it appeared to have deliberately contained classified information about sources and methods, knowing that the president couldn't possibly sign it. What do you make of it?
Look at what we know about the Schiff memo. It was hurriedly thrown together in the matter of a couple of days. Compare that to the Grassley memo, which went through the system for months. People don't realize the Grassley memo was written months ago and was vetted through the system to make sure it doesn't endanger any Americans. Likewise, the Nunes memo was built up over months and months of painstaking work. The president did the right thing. It's sloppy. It has sources and methods in it, but he's going to get the bad student to fix his own exam paper, which is the Democrat Party, Adam Schiff, and the people who knowingly put it together to embarrass the president. So great call by the commander-in-chief.
All right. Well, good luck getting Adam Schiff to do anything correctly. Sebastian Gorka, good to see you, as always.
Thanks, Joe.